Hi all, it's Skip from Skip's Smithy Workbench, and I'm here in the shop wearing my Slant 6 shirt. Great engine, love the engine. Anyway, I wanted to answer a question or respond to a question that Kim over at Kim's Custom Garage. Kim's our friend from Amsterdam. I think that's, yeah, or is it Denmark? No, I think it's I'm sorry, Kim, if I got that wrong. Anyway, he asked the question about whether or not we buy more than one of a particular kit. And, you know, it took me a couple of days to think about this because I don't have a very big stash. Unlike some of the modelers that I've seen out there on YouTube, some of you folks have huge stashes of models. I'm from the philosophy that, you know, I'm not going to have enough time to build what I have. So I don't have a big stash, but I was thinking about, do I actually have doubles of things? And I was thinking, I don't really, but I have. And actually I found out that I do when I started to organize and straighten things up. But what I found was that I do have several of the same type of car, or kit I should say, because I do more than cars, but from different manufacturers. You know, it's like either from Revell or AMT or Mobius or whoever, who might have produced the same type of kit or the same car or same model kit. So I went through and I finally got through all the few that I do have, and to sort them out, and I don't have a lot of shelf space, so that I'm working on. But anyway, I thought I would share with you as to what I have as far as not just double the same kit, but the same like model car, the same model year, and so on and so forth. So let me get my camera off of the tripod and you can follow me over to where I actually have them stored on the shelf. Alright, so I'm going to let you come along with me. My messy shop here is leading up to my channel name. It isn't as messy as usual, but I'm working on a kit that I had started almost over a year ago. So it's the B9 robot from Lost in Space. So I'm back on that one again since I'm waiting for decals to finish up my USAC build. So anyway, let's go over to the shelf where I have my few stashed kits, and you can see I'm coming up on the back side of it. And here we are. So I think I'm zoomed all the way out. Nope, let me see if I can. There we are. So you can see I don't have a whole lot on my shelf. It's only 2.5 shelves worth. But what I found as I'm going through it is the fact that I'm building the Lost in Space series. So I did get myself 2 B9 robots because, and I bought 2 of those because I'm doing things to that robot that are way outside of what the kit is. I'm adding electronics to it, I'm adding animations to it, and I bought 2 just in case I really screw one up. You'll see I also have the Chariot, and actually I have 2 versions of the Chariot. I'm sorry for the glare. The glare from the window. Let me see if I can turn this thing a little bit. So I have 2 versions of the Chariot. One is Mobius and the other one I think is Doll Models or something like that. So that, and I also have another B9 up here from Polar Lights. So I have actually three B9 robots in my stash here. I also have a Robbie the Robot from the movie, I can't think of the name of the movie right now. Come on, man. That's a classic. It's a classic film. But that's Robbie. And I have this total fascination with the heavy bombers from World War II. So you can see I have two B-29s. One is the Revell and the other one is a monogram. I also have two of the B-29s from Atlantis. I also have two B-50, actually three B-52s. I have the B-52 from Minicraft, and I have two of them from Atlantis. So, and then I have a B-24 Liberator, which has been in progress for like 2 or 3 years. So anyway, you can see they may not be the same manufacturer except for Atlantis, but they are duplicate types of kits that I do have. In a way of, oh, and I have the Jupiter 2 also for the Lost in Space series. I also have this fascination. I'm sorry, I'm hand holding the camera, so I'm not watching the screen at all time. I also have this thing I absolutely love the Model A's. I mean, I fell in love with the Model A's. I don't know, I was probably 12 or 13 years old back in 1965 or 66. But anyway, my neighbor at the time was restoring a 1929 Model A. And as kids, me and my best friend at the time, and still a good friend, we used to go down to the garage, which was like across the street from where we lived, and just because it was an old car, we didn't know at the time, but just to watch him. And as we stood there several times, he put us to work. So I learned a lot about the Model A's, and actually we helped him restore a Model A, and I fell in love with the Model A. So the Model A's, in particular, the 1929s through like 31, 32, because they're all pretty much the same car. There's a few slight variations, but they're pretty much the same. So you'll see I have a 31 Model A two-door, and that's Minicraft, and that actually is a 1/16 scale kit. And then I also have the 31 Model A delivery van from Minicraft, which is also a 1/16 scale kit. Then I have 1, 2, 3, and I believe this vintage is also a 28 or a 29, even though it's not really listed on there. But those are 29s, Model A's, and they're in different model kits. So these two are Revells. In fact, this one just recently came out, and I jumped on it and got that right away. And then I wanted to try a Woody at some point. And then the 34 pickups, I only show you 2 of them here, but I actually have 4 of these. I have 2 of this type, and then I have one in the Limburg, and I have another one, I don't even remember because I don't have the box for it anymore. I built it a long time ago. But I built one of the 34s. Actually, you can see that one on my YouTube channel and on my website. And this one was a trade with, and I don't remember who I traded with, but the Limburg kit, I traded for somebody. And I also then have up here a 3D printed body for Model A. So absolutely my favorite car of all. And then also one of my favorites is the 55 Chevy. And down here I have the 55 Nomad, which I just got as a gift actually. And then the 55 from AMT. And these are AMTs. And then the 55, this is Skip's Fiesta. I had to have that one. That's the Revell. And then down here is the AMT 1/16 scale 55 Chevy. One of my favorite cars of all times. One of my really favorite cars. So, Back to the Future. I actually have two of the Back to the Future 3s and one of the Back to the Future 1s, and I built two of these already. This one's still in box. So I thought I was going to do a different version of it, but I just never got to it. Oh, and here's two more Model A's, and I actually have a third one, which is amazing. These are, I'm sorry again for moving the camera around here. These are they're labeled 31s, and the other one is exactly the same box, but it's labeled 1928 Model A. These are die cast, and I built one of them. I don't really like doing die cast. I learned that by doing this, but they come out really well. They come out really nice. But I also found out that the 28 Model A die cast is exactly the same as the 31. They're just the exact same kit. So I actually have three of those. All right, but the boxes are labeled a little different on them. I also have two of the Revell 71 Plymouth Hemi Cudas, the 426, and I bought one of those has not been built, but the top box, I bashed that one. I wanted the Hemi out of it. Actually, I used the Hemi out of that kit in last year's USAC build, which was the truck. I believe we did a 55 Ford panel truck. So that's that. So, oh, and I actually have three of these AMT 41 Plymouths. One of them I built, and these two are still in box. And I don't even remember buying more than one, but there they are. So that's that. And then down below here, above my old microwave, I have a 59 El Camino and a 57 Chevy. And then over here is something that I bought on a whim. It's the General. It's a steam locomotive. It's a huge model. And my plan was to build that and then build this other Back to the Future 3 with the rail tires on it and have that train pushing it. So that was my idea there. And then one last thing is I do have two of the 68 Dodge Dart Hemis that we just did for the USAC build. One of them I used for the build, and because I was experimenting doing the dirt track stock car, I bought another one because I really want to do one factory stock. So that's that. All right, so that's pretty much it. So I have some duplicates, but I mostly have the same type of kit in different manufacturers. So Kim, thanks for that question. Let me get back over here to the shop. Oh, and come over here and see my cow. I built that a long time ago. That was a kit. But anyway, oh, and I'll show you this too. I'll take this over to the bench. But so that's really the kits that I have. And like I said, I'm working on a B9 robot right now. You can see I'm doing some of the electronics work here. This B29 was an Atlantis build. That was an Atlantis kit, which I had built when I was just a lad. And I mean, it was in pieces. My mother was cleaning out her attic, and she gave me this box, and it was full of models that I had built back in the early to mid 60s. They are absolute wrecks. So when I come back into the hobby after I retired from my full-time employment, I decided, you know, I gotta come up the learning curve. I didn't want to start a new kit right away. So I found this B29 in that box, and it was, like I said, in pieces. So I tore it all down and redid it. There's some things here that are still boogered. I didn't have another prop, and since I built this, I found that prop. So I made the engine look like it was hit or like it exploded and burned. But that was my first build slash rebuild when I came out of when I retired from full-time employment and came back and started into the hobby. So it was a good exercise in getting my feet wet again. I added my own cannon in the back here, and I made my own gun turrets because there were no gun turrets, and these are just furniture buttons, you know, the ones that you put in, the wooden ones that you put into the screws to cover your screw heads. They worked out perfectly, and I had lost some of these sight glasses, and all I did was took a little bit of the sprue from the clear plastics and cut an end off and rounded it and made that. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say for now. I'll let you go. This is a crappy video anyway, but it's a great question, Kim, and it got me to really go through what I have and really take a look and see that, yeah, I have a couple of themes: the heavy bombers, the 55 Chevys, and definitely the Model A's. You can't have enough Model A's. And if I had room on my property to store one, I would definitely have a real one. Most likely the pickup. I love the Model A pickups. Anyway, I'm rambling on. Thanks, Kim, for the question. And thank all of you. I want to thank all my subscribers. I want to thank all my visitors and guests. And hey, listen, if you even like this a little bit, give me that thumbs up. Really helps the algorithm, helps my channel, but it also helps all of the other modelers online because it draws attention to these type of videos, and we'll get more people back into the hobby. And I've seen an increase in it, and I'm sure you have too. So again, thumbs up, give me that like, hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, and I will be doing another video on how I make my decals. Now, I didn't make these decals, but you know what? I should show you that while I'm here. Let me see if I have it on the top, and I do. Let me come over here. There's not going to be a lot of light here, but this is my USAC build from last year, and I made those decals. I printed those myself and made those, and the reason they worked here was because they were on a white background, and like I said, I will get into that more in a separate video. But I did those decals all by my lonesome and printed them out myself. All right, so anyway, that's about it for now. Again, smack that like button, smack that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.